Let's talk about why women cheat on good men and why it has nothing to do with you not being enough. In fact, sometimes that's exactly the problem. I'll explain. Jessica OS here. Welcome to the channel. Remember to always look out for the channel name Jessica OS, as AI has taken over the internet, and that's the only way you're guaranteed to be getting advice straight from me. In this video, I'm breaking down the real psychological triggers behind female infidelity. You'll understand why some women sabotage good relationships, why your kindness can backfire, and the hidden emotional needs that go unmet, even when she's dating a great guy. By the end, you'll know the exact red flags to watch out for and how to protect yourself. If you're ready, let's jump in. Reason 1, she doesn't feel desired. A woman can feel loved in a relationship and still feel completely undesired. A lot of good men assume that because they're loyal, consistent, and attentive, the woman should automatically feel wanted. But desire doesn't work that way for women. Desire is not built on comfort, but tension. And most good men with the best intentions accidentally remove the very tension that makes her feel like a woman. You treat her gently, respectfully, you don't raise your voice or start arguments. You give her whatever she needs, essentially. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's wrong to do that, but hear me. In her head, you slowly become the emotional equivalent of a warm blanket. Comfortable, safe, predictable. Not bad either, right? But women don't just want a supportive man. They want a man who still makes them feel like they're being chosen and not just accommodated. You see, when a woman no longer feels desired by her man, she doesn't say, "Babe, I need you to want me." She says, "You don't pay attention to me anymore. I don't feel like you love me. You've changed. I don't feel attractive. I feel disconnected." Now, what she really means is, "I don't feel like you want me the way you used to." Now, good men miss this translation entirely. And here's a powerful punch. The man who doesn't desire her can accidentally push her towards the man who does. And not because he's better, but because he makes her feel something. People think women cheat because they're craving physical intimacy. No, they cheat because they're craving that look in a man's eyes that says, "I want you," right? The other man didn't win because he was hotter, richer, or more charismatic. He won because he awakened the feeling that she lost at home. Women cheat when they feel sexually invisible in their own relationship. Not unloved, invisible. And the frightening part is, it happens quietly. She doesn't argue, start drama, or complain loudly. She simply disconnects. Emotionally at first, sexually second, physically last. By the time she cheats, her desire for you has been dying for months. Yep, it didn't happen suddenly. So one question every man should ask himself is this: if another man flirted with my woman today, would she instantly feel more desired than she has with me in months? If the honest answer is yes, you've got work to do. Women don't cheat because your love was missing. They cheat because your desire was. Reason 2, she's addicted to emotional drama. So let's call a spade a spade. Some women cheat because they're addicted to chaos, to adrenaline, to emotional spikes that feel like passion. If you're a good man, this is the part that feels the most unfair because you're offering peace. She's wired for war, though. The woman who grew up around instability, yelling, cheating, gaslighting, fighting, sudden breakups, unpredictable affection, learns something dangerous. Love isn't calm. Love is chaos. Affection isn't steady. Affection is unpredictable. Attraction isn't safe. Attraction is intense. These women spend years calling it normal, but it's not normal, it's familiar. And the human brain craves what feels familiar, even if it's unhealthy. So when a good man appears with stability and consistency, her nervous system will panic. When you give her reliability, emotional safety, predictable routines, consistent affection, mature communication, she feels secure. But then inside, something feels off because she's been programmed to associate love with emotional highs and lows. Without the drama, she doesn't feel intensity. Without that intensity, she won't feel passion. Without passion, she assumes that she's not in love. Her brain confuses peace with boredom and chaos with chemistry. And that's why the other man seems so exciting. Because guess what? He brings emotional volatility. He texts inconsistently, flirts just enough, pulls away sometimes, gives attention unpredictably, creates uncertainty, creates emotional spikes. her nervous system lights up like a Christmas tree. That stimulation feels like chemistry because that is what she's used to. But chemistry built on chaos always collapses. Listen, I don't want you to blame yourself. I mean, you weren't boring, you were healthy. But a woman who's been through emotional roller coasters doesn't know how to receive healthy love without feeling like something is missing. It always starts the exact same way. She reconnects with an ex as friends. She talks to a co-worker who gets her. She finds attention online. She responds to flirty messages. She enjoys the tension of forbidden conversations. These are emotional hits that she's craving. Affairs rarely start physically for women. They start emotionally. Remember that, because emotional chaos is that drug that she needs. You cannot love a woman out of her trauma. You cannot stabilize her enough to heal her. You can't fix a woman who needs emotional turbulence to feel alive. Even if you're the perfect partner, she'll still sabotage what you've built because she doesn't know what to do with emotional peace. She'll cheat because she didn't know how to receive the love that you gave. Reason 3, she never healed from her past. Let's be honest. Some women cheat because they're still battling demons from before you ever showed up. And good men misunderstand this constantly. They think, well, I gave her love, comfort, stability, safety. How could she betray me? Well, because here's the uncomfortable truth. You weren't the man she cheated on. You were the man she hid inside while she healed. You were her emotional shelter, her recovery room. And here's where it gets painful. Once she feels healed, her unaddressed wounds drag her right back into the same destructive patterns that she had before you showed up. The ones that you thought you saved her from. You didn't fix her, you just gave her a break from her pain. When someone hasn't healed, peace feels temporary and not permanent. She uses your stability like a rest stop and not a destination. Even though you treat her with love and respect, her unhealed past whispers, you're not enough, he'll leave eventually, you're not lovable, you don't deserve this, this is too good, find validation elsewhere. Women who haven't healed self-destruct when they feel safe, because safety simply doesn't match who they are, it doesn't match their identity. Chaos does. She cheats after you build her up because she associates you with a version of herself that was broken. And she associates the new man with the version of herself that feels better, even though that version is just as fragile, just as unhealed, right? I want you to know that you weren't the bad guy. You were simply the emotional rehab that she needed. A lot of good guys get blindsided by this type of woman because she never actually showed her brokenness. She hid it under temporary stability. She didn't do the work. She just enjoyed the experience of being with someone who had. You see, this is what you need to understand. A woman can adore you, respect you, appreciate you, feel safe with you, and still cheat because she doesn't have a healthy internal framework for love. She can recognize a good man, she just doesn't know how to keep him. Sometimes the worst heartbreak actually comes from the woman who loved you the most because, well, she loved you with broken hands. And broken people don't hold on, they slip. Reason 4, she resents feeling like the emotional parent. So a woman will stay with a man through hard times, broke times, confused times. But the one thing she cannot tolerate long term is feeling like she's dating a child. And the problem? Most good men who make their women feel like the emotional parent don't even realize they're doing it because they confuse being nice with being emotionally mature. Hear me, they're not the same. The silent shift from woman to mother. This is how it starts. At first, she loves being supportive. She loves guiding you, loves helping you express your feelings, loves teaching you how to communicate with her. But over time, she realizes that she's not guiding a partner, she's managing one. And there's a difference. Once a woman feels like your emotional caretaker, attraction will collapse. Not slowly, but fast. What emotional immaturity looks like in a good man. Let me paint this so clearly so you don't miss it. You shut down during conflict. You avoid difficult conversations because you don't want to argue. You need her to explain what you did wrong every single time. You depend on her emotional strength to regulate your own moods. You apologize too quickly to end the tension and not because you understand. You rely on her to be the calm, intuitive, and expressive one. You get defensive instead of reflective. She feels like she's raising you emotionally instead of connecting with you as an equal. At that point, you're not her man, you're her project. And projects don't turn women on. The hard to swallow truth. You can be a good provider, a good man, a loyal partner, a dependable boyfriend, a sweet guy, and still lose your woman because she feels emotionally alone in your presence. When a woman becomes your emotional parent, she stops seeing you as her man, and when she stops seeing you as her man, she becomes vulnerable to someone who feels like one. There, I said it. 4 solid reasons women cheat on good men. Do any of these sound familiar? Let me know in the comments. My name is Jessica OS. Hope you got value from this video, and at least I gave you some clarity. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.